So in today's video, we will configure a trunk interface on the switch. In the last one, we had configured these ports to be access ports. In fact, it was these ports on VLAN 10, and the subnets that subnet that was existing on VLAN 10 was 10.1.1. Today we're going to configure 10.2.2 or VLAN 20 to traverse this link so that the traffic between A and B, C and D stays in their domain and do not cross in each other's domain. So this is our setup. I'm using VIOS1 here, VIOS2 as the machine, and here VIOS3 and VIOS4 to represent these subnets, and our Arista lab switch on these two. So let's take a look at that. So here's the setup. Now look at the interface, show interface trunk. We got Ethernet 2 and Ethernet 2 here as well. That is trunking VLAN 10. Show interface status. We got 3 interfaces, 2 is a trunk. Ethernet 1 is configured for VIOS1 here. Show interface status. Ethernet 1 is configured for VLAN 10 for this guy. So if you were to look at the settings, he is connected to network or cable 21 for his Ethernet 0, and switch 2 should be connected to cable 21 for his Ethernet 1. Ethernet 1 connected to VIOS2, cable 21, matching up, and it should be allow all PC net fast 3. Good here. Let's double check this guy here. Network, Ethernet 1 is 1 to 2, cable 1 to 2. I'm labeling them as the direction of the flow. Network 1 to 2. So Ethernet 0 connects to Ethernet 1, 1 to 2, same cable. And the switch is configured for VLAN 10, so they should ping each other. This guy is 10.1.1, this guy is 10.1.1.2. Bingo. And when it happens, you should see show MAC address table VLAN 10, and you'll see the 2 MACs going through. This is the MAC address of this guy here. (629E), 629E, and BE47 is coming through Ethernet 2, which is the trunk. This should be the MAC address. BE47. So we're looking good here. Should actually match up exactly the same from a MAC address table perspective. Show address table VLAN 10, and you'll see this is coming from his Ethernet 1, and on the trunk interface he's learning the same thing. So we're looking good here. Now let's do this setup that we have for VIOS 1 and 2 to make sure that we can communicate between 3 and 4. So 3 and 4, 222 is his address, 221 is his address. Not able to talk. Let's put the ports in, making sure that he is configured on port 2. Ethernet 2 is a trunk, so I'm just using the cable name as 101 for the trunk port. This is our Ethernet 2. So I'm saying cable 3-4, so 3 to 4 communication. So he's on 3-4. He needs to be connected on 3-4 as well. He is. So that's, these two are looking good. Let's talk about this one here. He is connected to trunk port, and his Ethernet 2 is 4 to 3, so he should be on 4 to 3 as well. 4 to 3. So all we got to do now is configure the VLANs. So if we do show VLAN brief, we don't have VLAN 20 yet, and that's what we wanted to configure in our diagram between 3 and 4, VLAN 20. Let's do that. So let's configure switch 2 first for Ethernet 2, or Ethernet 3 for, sorry. Ethernet 1 is connected to him, Ethernet 2 is the trunk, and Ethernet 3 is on our default VLAN. So we go to interface E3, that's connecting to this guy here. And then we say switchboard access VLAN 20, and 20 does not exist. So he's going to automatically create it. There you go. Do the same here. Show VLAN brief. 20 doesn't exist. Ethernet 3 is on our default VLAN. E3 that connects to VS1. Switchboard access VLAN 20 does not exist. Show VLAN brief. Show VLAN brief, and you can see now 10 and 20. 20 is on 3, and 20 is on 3 here as well. He's still not pinging because we need to still do what? Configure the trunk port that goes between the two switches. So now we will put VLAN 20, as you can see it's doing only 10 today, right now. Configure interface E2, switch port, trunk, allowed VLAN add. The keyword here is add, because the first time when we add the first VLAN, we just do allow VLAN, and then after that, if we want to add further EVLANs, more VLANs, we do the keyword add. Do 20, interface E2, switch port trunk, allowed VLANs, add 20, because 10 is already there. And it will take a minute for the spanning tree to converge, and it'll put the port into forwarding state. And once that happens, you should see the ping response coming back. Show monitor traffic. Interface Ethernet 0. And you can see that it's coming already, but it's not responding, and that's because the lab switch needs to be rebooted every time we configure something. So let's do that. I'm going to type reboot, right, save the configuration. Let's see if this guy can ping. Same thing. So we're going to have to reload these two switches, And this should start working, because now if you look at the show MAC address table VLAN 20, you will see the MAC addresses coming through, but they're not responding because of the forwarding plane that is not see the two MAC addresses between 3, 4. Okay, so we do the write and we do the write here. I'm gonna reload and reload both the switches. Confirm, confirm. Going through the reload. Restart these switches since it gave us the same error. It's a lab OS. It's a bug. You just have to work around it. You just restart both the switches again. Taking its time to reload. Escape. Admin. Escape here too. So each time you put in a new config, it's going to go through this cycle. No issues. Just keep typing in until it gives you the prompt, switch prompt. Admin. Admin. So now we got the prompts. You got to put enable, enable. This one gave you the switch 1 prompt. Let's check. This one gave you the switch 2 prompt. Still settling down. As soon as it settles down, you'll see the two VIOS router will start communicating. Takes a while for the switch software to settle down because of the spanning tree. Show MAC address. There you go. Both of them have now started communicating because the process of these switches reloading and settling down with the processes is a long process. And show MAC address table VLAN 20 looks good. And do show interface trunk. There you go. You got two interface, two VLANs there. Show interface trunk. Bingo. Let's look at the configuration now quickly. Show run interface Ethernet 1, Ethernet 2, Ethernet 3. Show run interface Ethernet 1, Ethernet 2, Ethernet 3. That's your access VLANs, access ports, and that's your trunk port between the two switches, and that's your access VLAN again for VLAN 20, 10, 20, 10, and trunk. So this is how you configure 4 routers or 4 access. This diagram here between the two switches with VLAN 10 and 20 as trunk, and the 4 computers on different VLANs.